Hi, I'm Frost, and welcome to this Planetfall episode where I'm going to be covering the Kir'Ko in depth. So here we go. Okay, so time to start by selecting a commander. So my race obviously is Kir'Ko, and I've gone for a secret technology of synthesis. And the reason why I've done that is so that it gives me a really broad range of weapons. So I've got bio and psi for the Kir'Ko. And then for the synthesis, I have arc and kinetic. There we go. Right, now my starting perks, what I have done is I have gone for the Star Union Scholar. And the reason why I chose that one is because it decreases my secret technology training times, which with the synthesis comes in really, really useful. And then also I get more rewards from sites and stuff. So that basically that bonus lasts the whole through the game, like I've described before in some of my tips, rather than using things like sort of the assault equipment, which is only useful for the very few turns of the game. And then also give myself an energy cache as well, so that I can build more quickly at the beginning. All right, so there we go. So that will do just fine. And there we go. So there's my commander. Isn't she looking gorgeous? That's Mandy Bills. And it's time to get started. So I'm going to click done. We're going to go through the startup sequence and then end up at turn 1. Okay, so I've just landed and I picked a random planet. And so I ended up with a planet that's, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was like 42% water and 58% land. So it's not too bad. And as you can see, it's dropped me right in the middle of the map. So one of my first jobs is I'm going to have to send out my scouts. I've got one right here. So with that scout, I'll probably send up north. And then in my armies, I have another one there, which I'm going to then send south. And then after that, I have obviously my hero. I have a hidden, which is my long range. And then I have 3 melee with my frenzied. So what I will do is I will go to the obvious places. So obviously the one they recommend, the coil soils up there. And then I will go and deal with these guys over there. And then I'll come back to you. So what I'll do is I'll do the first 10 turns. It's kind of, you know what you're doing with this, you know how it works. It's all pretty tedious at the beginning. So I'm just going to get myself settled to get the first 10 turns done. And then I will catch up with you then. Okay, so we've reached turn 10. So time to do a little bit of an update for you. As you can see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, I've been exploring. And I headed south and headed north. South was great. I managed to find a shoreline. So I will most likely be building my colonies towards the south and expanding that way. To the north, I found 2 opponents. So let me bring up, let me bring up my diplomacy. Where is my diplomacy? Here we go. Yeah, so I bumped into Dali and to Adam. So we've got Syndicate and Vanguard. Adam's up to the top and to the left. And Dali is up to the top and to the right. And for some reason, Dali's taken an immediate dislike to me. I have no idea why. Haven't done anything to the guy, but obviously a bit pissed. So there you go. So we're going to see what happens with that. In the meantime, I've been a bit busy. I've built a colonizer and popped a colony over here. So I've gone a little bit away from my beginner's tips with this one. With this colony, I started with the biofarm for this one, but I didn't go immediately for the. If we zoom out, I didn't go immediately for this colony because I needed I didn't have enough of the influence to buy the colony from the spacers. So instead, I decided to go for this one down here, which was giving me extra research, which is great because I really want to focus on the synthesis and build up that research. So that's going to come in really handy. So there you go. So I've already annexed that sector. And then I built a colonizer and set up shop over here to the right because straight after doing food, I really want to have a colony that focuses on production. So obviously I've got this one here that had a bonus, which gives me a +5 to my colony's domain on my production. And also, anything that passes through it gets a bonus to their damage, which is good. And then right next door, you can see I've got another one here which I can then use to get some extra bonus for my production. So this is going to be production based. One thing that's a little bit strange was I picked up down here basically a little freebie. I visited a site and it gave me the option of either getting a reactor core or getting a 28 credits or 28 energy. And I thought, well, don't really want the 28 energy, I'd rather have the core. And it said it was going to put it into a future colony. So I assumed that was going to be the one after the one I'd literally just built that turn. But instead, it allocated it straight to Josdaran. And as you can see, it just whacked in the corrector call there without even asking me. So that's a bit annoying. I would have liked to have had the production-based bonus, but it's okay. I mean, I need the credits anyway, the energy, and I should be able to do fine with the fact I've got two sectors right next door to each other that have production bonuses as well. So we're going to run with that and see how that goes. In the meantime, in this colony, I actually built the Specialist Training Center. The reason why I did that first is because it gives me the Transcendent. And you can see I've got one building here right now. I love the Transcendent. I've mentioned it before in some other videos. These guys are OP. You know, they do great psionic damage. It goes straight through armor, and also they're healers. And so you can just keep them at the back, and you can do the absorb pain. You know, so we'll see that when I do some manual combat, that I can basically set that on my heroes, and then it helps protect my heroes, give them an extra whole bunch of extra vitality. So that's what's going on there. And then I've also built another colonizer. Now you can see at the moment that's got a cost of 30 cosmite, and if we go to here, you will see that now colonizers will now cost me 40 cosmite. The reason why is I'm playing this since the Ankylosaurus update, which was update 1.006, where they added a stacking penalty for every colony that you built. But the reality is, with the Kir'Ko, you really want to build those colonies because that's where the strength of the Kir'Ko lies, is their ability to grow very quickly. Talking of which, if we go down to here, you can see in my doctrines, I've trained up dream sharing, which gives me an extra 25% from combat. But then there's also nurturing, which is another one of the doctrines that comes in the first skill set, which will be training up after the builder. So right now I'm really focusing on just building my colonies and getting my Kir'Ko as growing as quickly as possible. So if we actually look at my research, you can see what I've been up to. So on my weapons research, or my military research, which you'll see, which is a little bit unusual, I've left these alone, unshackling and biochemical, as I really wanted to focus on the synthesis. The reason why is because, first of all, you get this thing called the demon shells. And what these do is they obviously give you a bonus, so this one gets a +1 to its armor and gets 25% harder to hit by ranged attacks. And then you get the attack one, which gives you 10% accuracy and 10% critical hit. But also they become integrated. Now the integrated comes into play with the combat subroutines, which is over here. Now you can see there's one called Aegis subroutines, which is this one down here. And what that does is any unit that has these two mods put into them, when I fire off this tactical mod, Aegis subroutines, it will then give me +2 shields for 2 turns, which gives you loads and loads of protection when you're doing your initial attack. So that's why I kind of focused on just getting these guys trained up. And then now I'm training up information control, because the hacker does great damage, the SMG is a great weapon, and so they're good units to have as well. So with the Transcendent and the hacker, it kind of puts me in a good position. So I wanted to get these little 4 done first before I started going through the other trees. Then moving on to the society research, I went for the ones that I've covered in my tips before. So frontier facilities straight away, so I could get my colonizers. Then I did area surveillance so that I could get my operation effectiveness at least up to 1, so I can use my tactical operations. And now I've trained up, like I mentioned, nurturing. So I've got preserving the future and dream sharing. So dream sharing is the one I'm training right now, and then nurturing is going to be the one straight after that, which gives me another 20%, a +20% income on my colonies, which is good news, especially in view of the change in the colonizers. Okay, and then I have a brood cluster as well, which means that I get I get a bonus to my food income there as well. So there you go. So that's what I've been up to there, and my plans now. Oh yeah, I've just picked up a hero as well. So I've got this dude here who's on a. Hang on, let me bring him up. There we go. Who's on a mount, and you can see. So I get the bonus for the mount as well as for this dude, and then you can see that on the mods here. There's the Guardian Demon Shell, Targeting Demon Shell, So I'm undecided now as to where I go in the next few moves. So I've only got 15 Cosmite. So do I really want to use these just yet? Although I will put the regenerative dermal patches on. I picked those up on the site. So best place for these is on the hero. So we're going to pop those on him so he's got some healing power as well. So that's excellent. So that's done. So let's confirm that. And what I'm going to do now as well is I'm going to, if I go up here, where is it? Yeah, I've got my little birdie fly thing flying around. I'm going to drive him down south now and start looking what's down to the southwest, as I want to probably expand into that area as well. So that's the plan for that dude. And right, so now I still haven't got around to doing these 2 sites. I got sidetracked by a spacer mission because I discovered the spacers down in the bottom right corner here. So that's good. So that's going to protect my kind of east side. So I'm going to probably build southwest, and then I've got the spacers to my right, and then it gives me like that shoreline along the south to protect my colonies. And the spacers have also got me busy doing a mission up here. As you can see, I've got to build some spacer buildings. So I'm doing that, and then after that I will be building most likely, let me see. Yeah, I will probably build some skirmisher barracks so I can build some hidden. So then I've got one building transcendent, one building hidden. And then after that I'm going to work on my military infrastructure, or maybe even my brood cluster. Although I'll probably put the brood cluster in Denuzriel. And it makes more sense as that one's kind of a biofarm. That's focused, it's food oriented. I'm going to pick up this nursery now on the next couple of turns as soon as I can annex another sector, get the brood cluster on there, and then that colony. I need to get a recreational dome as well because these guys are going to get unhappy as the colony grows in size. So those are kind of the 3 jobs for that. So get that food sector, get myself a brood cluster, recreational dome, and build that as fast as possible. Okay, so that's where I'm at. And I'm going to wait till we get a little bit further in the game for doing some manual combat, because at this moment it's kind of a little bit basic. So I'll wait till we've got some specific skills and hero abilities we can use, as that will make more sense. All right, time to move on. Okay, so we're at turn 20 now, and things are progressing. As you know, the first few stages of the game, things don't move that quickly in terms of combat and stuff. So we're talking more about the strategy side now. So at the moment, as you can see, I've got my 2 heroes. I've split them up into 2 armies so I can get as many units as possible training up, because I do get the bonus in my doctrines. Let me see, where was it? Dream sharing, which gives me my bonus for combat. So therefore, it's in my best interest to try and train up as many units as I can for when I start fighting. I'm focusing right now on just clearing out this sector here, as I will need it to annex at some point. And then I've got another one up here, which I need to deal with. So I'm going to focus my armies on just moving them around to get rid of these areas where I'm going to need to annex the sectors. So moving out a little bit, you can see I'm progressing nicely. I've got up to 3 colonies now. I built a new colony here called Dakota Doda. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, actually. Forget that. That one, this one here. I wanted it to be an energy one, but unfortunately there was no energy available. And so I'm really sort of focusing now on getting my next colony as an energy colony, as I'm concerned that I'm not going to have enough energy to build my troops when it comes to time to actually doing battle. So I set it up as a research one. And so the plan is as you can see, I've managed to get enough Cosmite now to build another colonizer. So I'm going to put that in the queue straight away. There we go. So that's going to come after my military infrastructure. It is my capital city, so I do want to put the military infrastructure in there if I can to protect it. So that's going to build the colonizer, and the plan is that I'm going to pop it here in Shiny Alps, and then I can then build down, take over this sector here, and then move into this one, and then finally onto the offshore one. I'm not too bothered about this ion storm hazard, as if we look at my research at the moment, I've trained up, as you can see, production, energy, food and research. So all of these guys are now ready and I'm now ready to move on to environmental conditioning, which is the key one after these 4 have been done, because it's got hazard removal. And so that's going to allow me to get rid of that gravity generator that's going to give me negatives to my colony. And then straight after that is going to be operation effectiveness. So that's my plan for the research. And then, so that's, have I set that off? Research, there we go. So that's on its way. And then we are going to go over to the military side. So on the military side now, like I say, I have these 4 trained up for now. And now I'm training up the Kir'Ko skills specifically. So unshackling, which gives me damage mods and so forth. A tactical one, which is the healing surge. And then after that, I am not sure yet. So I'm now going on to volatile afflictions, that's correct. These 2 are strategic. So you can see Berserker Pheromones and Spawn Emergent. And at this stage of the game, until you get to about turn 40, your strategic operations really don't come in for combat, especially, that aren't really that relevant. So I'm rather focused on something that's going to give me tactical operations and also some mods. So that's where I'm going with that. So that's the plan with that. In terms of how I'm getting along with everybody, so the people over here, which is owner GROXA, I have a non-aggression pact, so that's great news. So I now don't have to worry about the east side. I've then been very good, and I've got into my diplomacy. You can see that Adam and Dali, so Adam was in the northwest, Dali's in the northeast. I've been sort of giving them pronouncements to keep my standings fairly okay with them, so I don't get any aggro from them. So that only leaves T1A and N3 as my problem. And the reason why I kind of focused on that individual, or her, should I say, is because she's in the southwest. And if you remember, this is kind of the direction I wanted to expand in. And I'm concerned as well that this assembly opponent is building a lot of territory. So I'm looking probably around turn 40. At the moment, for the next 20 turns, I'm probably going to still be building up my infrastructure, making sure that I've got sort of plenty of research going, plenty of the energy going so I can build troops, start stacking up my troops in Josduran up here. Although my concern that I have is that it didn't build a road between this sector and the main colony, and that's going to make it a little bit difficult getting my troops out. It's going to affect my movement points. Because of these little hills here, it decided not to build a road, and I can't go through the mountains, obviously, and there's mountains to the north, and I don't want to go east, I want to go west. So that's kind of a pain. I'm going to have to see how that plays out. And in the meantime, as you can see, I've also built some forward bases here and here. I haven't done this one because that's a special site, so I need to send in some pretty heavy armies to conquer that. But this is so to stop, I've forgotten her name again, G6. Yeah, I'm just going to call her G6, I think. That's going to be easier, yeah. Oh, no, so it's T1. G6, I've got a non-aggression pact. So T1, stop T1 from progressing into my area. So hopefully it's going to hold her back a while I expand into all these areas. As you can see, I've got a number of sectors I need to annex now. So I'm going to keep on expanding, and I'm going to keep on moving my army around here. I'm going to build a couple more troops just to supply some more numbers to these, so I get to 6 for both, and then take out these marauders, and that will allow me to expand. So that's where I'm at so far. So there you go, quick update, and bear with me. You know, we will get to the combat, but as you know, with this game, it's a strategy game, so we're going to make sure we're set up correctly. And that's what these first sort of 30 to 40 turns are for, to make sure that you've got a really good infrastructure, that you're well set up, that your borders are well protected, that you've made peace with the people you need to, and decide who you're going to aggress and plan properly. All right, so I'm going to probably come back in about 10 turns, and we'll see how we're doing. So I'm back a little bit earlier than I expected. The reason why is T1 has decided to declare war on me. And as you can see, T1 started building borders right next to mine and has decided to declare war. Now, it's a lot earlier than I would like. So at this stage, what I'm doing is I'm about to put my other colonizer down. I'm going to start focusing building armies now in Dunuzril and Josduran. and start piling them up, and then just wait and see what T1 does. I mean, sometimes they declare war and then don't actually advance, or they just make a sort of a token effort on one of my forward bases. So I'm going to have to prepare some armies just to be on the safe side. I've just recruited another hero, so I have my army commander and 2 heroes, but I'm otherwise pretty low on the number of armies. So we'll see in the next few turns what happens. All right, keep you posted. Right, so we're at turn 25. I'm back a lot sooner than expected. So I said that a T1 may not actually do anything. That's actually not the case. If I actually zoom out, you can see I'm in military at the moment. I've just spotted down here T1's army, and it's got the commander in there as well. Now, it doesn't seem to be a big army, so it looks like T1 has just been basically getting territory and not investing in much else. So based on that, at the moment, what I was doing is I was just going to carry on and go after this marauder. But I'm going to turn around my 2 armies that are here. Now, if I go back down to here, T1 has got a army power of 912. Okay, now I have at the moment 842 and 634, and I don't even have full armies here. And I've got a few my flying units around. What are they called again? I've forgotten. Unleashed, there we go. I have a few of these Unleashed sort of floating around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly them in, and I'm going to start moving my 2 armies down towards this southwest corner, as I got a feeling that T1's going to try and take this sector here and then move up towards the one I can't pronounce. So there you go. So that's a quick update. I'm going to turn around and head down there as fast as I can. Picking up some my flying units along the way to bolster my numbers, and we'll see what happens from there. We've reached turn 30 now, and things are hotting up. So T1's armies just kept floating about, and as you can see, she's retreated over to HIVX. So what I'm going to do is I already have a monitor primed, so I'm going to launch that now. Just pop it right there. Okay, so the army's built up a little bit, power of almost 1,100 now, but then she's right on top of a colony as well, which has another 800, so we're looking at 1,800. So at this stage, a number of things I've been up to. In the diplomacy, Dali was getting annoyed with me and was suggesting they were going to go to war, and I don't want another war at the moment. So I've been giving pronouncements to Dali and to Adam, giving them some compliments, so that they stay off my back for now while I focus on what T1 is up to. I've got reinforcements coming in, so I've just got a Transcendent right now that's just been built. So I'm going to move him down there, just start reinforcing. There's another Transcendent that I built earlier. Here's one that I made earlier, so I'm going to move him down as well, popping him into position, just right on top of that one. There we go. As you can see, I've got sectors that I need annexing as well, so that's progressing nicely. I have one also for La Cruz, and I'm trying to get down to Opal Mountain. I've got a little fly thing, there we go, that's making its way down to Opal Mountain, as I need to leave Thousand Peaks free for the one I can't pronounce, as otherwise that's going to get tied into a corner. So yeah, that's moving along fine. I'm focusing on just building some energy as well, to make sure that I've got enough to build some more armies. There we go, I've got another Frenzied here that needs moving down. In fact, so you can see there's one there as well. So as you can see, I'm just bringing all my armies forwards so that I've got some good numbers to attack with. Come back here, you. There we go, and you can go down there. And then what I've also been doing is priming things that are going to be effective for strategic operations. So I've got internal system overload hack, which affects all mechanical and cyborg units, which is great because Assembly have a lot of those. Deploy maintenance demons, which is essentially my health. For synthesis strategic operation, it gives me health back to my armies and gives them bonus damage bonuses. And then the big one, zero day vulnerability, which is great for hitting a colony with. And it also lasts for 10 turns. So there's a good chance I might actually just use that in the next turn or two, just before I attack that colony to create some civil unrest and just drop morale a lot. So there you go. So that's what's been going on with that. In terms of my military training, I've been focusing on both the Kir'Ko and the biochemical for now. Just making sure that I get things like a corrosive detonator. I've got the ability to deploy an Abyssian now as a tactical operation, which is a pretty good unit. It does corrosive bile, so that's it's similar to the mount that you get with the Kir'Ko, except it's just not a mount, it's just a unit on its own. So I've got that as well, so that's there for me. So that's what I've been focusing on with those. And then on my research, on my society, I've been doing my covert infiltration and my counter ops, just in case I start getting energy siphons on me and so forth, and so vice versa, I can do the same back. And I made sure that my operational effectiveness is at least up to 2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm in a state of war, rather than focus on sort of my colony research, I am going to go straight to operation effectiveness and put that up to level 3, as that's going to help me a lot in combat. It's going to take 6 turns. It may be all over by then with this with T1, but we don't know, so it's best to put that in so it's all nice and ready. So we're going to close that, and I'm going to assemble these armies, just get them all together, and I'm probably going to deploy. Let me see actually. Yeah, let me get my energy siphon priming. Yeah, I've got 52 influence, so I've got enough to prime that. So we're going to start that, and we are also going to do internal purge as well, just so we've got that ready. So I want energy siphon first, so we're going to pause, resume priming on that one. So that'll get my energy siphon in 1 turn, so I can get an energy siphon onto T1. If we just check operations, yeah, they're only at level 3. I'm at level 5, so we should hopefully have good odds on the energy siphon. So in fact, let me just click through these, just finish this turn. Okay, the spacers, right, the spacers can get lost for a while. The Paragon I've been keeping happy, so I've just been giving them a bit of money, occasionally a bit of energy, and just enough to keep them happy, but I've been declining all their missions so that I can focus on this. The G6 has got an army here. That's because I've got open borders, so that's all fine. Let me check. So what else do I need to do? I need to annex some sectors. But you know what? I can leave that for now. Let's just start the next turn and see if we can get this energy siphon going. So obviously now we're getting to the point where it takes a little bit of time between turns. Unlike Age of Wonders 3, the AI seems to take a lot more time thinking about what it's going to do between turns. So we're just going to move out, go back to military. Yeah, so there's some more armies up here that belong to T1. So we may have to attack and then retreat. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how much damage my own armies take. Okay, so GRO has taken a claim sector. That's fine. That's just going to increase my Cassius Belli. That's because when I started off, I flew around with my little fly units and claimed loads of sectors so that it would allow me to get this exact situation. But because I've got open borders and a defensive, not a defensive pact, just an alliance, not even an alliance, just non-aggression pact, that's it. So I've got a non-aggression pact, so I don't have to worry about G6, that's all fine. So let's get this energy siphon going.
Operations primed and ready.
There we go, launch now. 70% chance, oh no, sorry, 70% chance, there we go. Yep, so we're going to launch that. Excellent, good stuff. So that's going to give me some energy, so as and when we go into combat, I will have energy to build more units, and poor T1 here will not. We might as well, while we're at it, let's get the 0-day vulnerability in there as well, and launch that. 70% chance again. So we're going to launch that. Oh, it failed. Okay, but that's okay because we still got the morale damage, so that's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring down these armies. So about the next 2 or 3 turns, I'm just going to try and get myself all sorted. And then we're going to launch an attack on T1, and hopefully we can do it in one go where we take HIVX and then move on to Friction. We'll have to see how much damage I take and see how well my troops do. Just so you know, my units in my armies, I've been putting synthesis mods in them, so hopefully you'll be able to see the synthesis stuff in action when we get into combat. All right, catch up with you in a few minutes, or basically instantly for you because we're going to cut. Time to cut. Right, so we're at turn 36 now, and I've got all my armies in place. I've got a commander in each army, so that's all good. I took a few more turns because I got an extra recruiting hero. I got a chance to recruit a hero, let me put my words straight. And also I managed to get a couple of extra units that are coming in to reinforce. Where are they? Oh yeah, they're still up there. So I need to move those guys down. So let's move them down towards here. Okay, and just before I attack as well, something I forgot to mention is when we got to turn 30, around turn 30, when I had my 4 colonies kind of producing the 4 main elements, I started to focus my colonies. So what I mean by that is if you look at my people, you can see that my food colony, I filled up all the slots with my, for food, filled up all the slots for production on my production colony, same for my research colony, and so on and so forth. So I specialized them to try and maximize my output, and also created a few more units. And then with the heroes as well, just before we go into battle, let me bring up this hero. I want to show 2 abilities that are really crucial for the Kir'Ko. On the left-hand side here under Dream Sharing, so you've got Echo of the Hive Mind and Fury of the Swarm. So as you know, the Kir'Ko, when they're adjacent to each other, they get something called a Swarm Shield, which boosts up their shield, which is down here. You can see it gets +2 a shield. Well, Echo of the Hive Mind does the same as a stacking bonus for the hero. So if you put the hero in the middle and then put the other Kir'Ko around, they get then a +4 shield because of Swarm Shield, which is excellent news. And then Fury of the Swarm is an offensive ability that's based around Swarm Shield as well. So that means that any Swarm Shield units that are Kir'Ko that are around your commander, or your hero, get a +20% to their abilities. All right, so +20% damage. So really good to know, and I try and put those on all my heroes as and when. I haven't got them, both of them on all my heroes yet, because I haven't got around to it, haven't upgraded enough points, had enough upgrade points, but I will get onto it. All right, so let's start thinking about taking these into battle. There we go, and just before I do that, I might as well do an internal system overload hack. And because they're assembly, they have a lot of mechanical cyborg units, and I get a chance to do 20% of their damage. So we're going to launch that now on that main unit. We've got 50-50 chance, and it failed. All right, okay. They've still got the damage though, so that's fine. Their units are not compromised. Okay, that's fine. That means at least we've got a little less DPS to deal with. Right, we're saying it's a low-risk battle. I wouldn't say it's that low risk. 2,400 versus 1954, and their units are, pretty high up. They're pretty experienced units. So we'll see. Let's go into manual combat and see how that turns out. Right, so let me speed this up a little bit. There we go. So it's on double playback speed. They're just going to be moving the units forwards as per usual. Okay, so for every time you're attacking a colony like this, the process is always the same. You want to be moving all your armies into one group and moving forwards as one group. You don't want to be splitting your forces. And that applies pretty much to every battle in Planetfall, but especially so in the colonies. Now let me start moving these guys down as far as I can. The reason why you want to do that is because imagine you've got 3 different sets of units, 3 armies attacking 3 different units at the same time. You run the chance that the 3 units you're attacking, you're not going to be able to actually kill them. They're going to end up with only 10% damage on all 3 of them. But even if they've only got 10% damage, they'll do 100% of their damage to you. So you therefore want to try and remove units. Let me see where I want to put this one. I'm going to put them just behind here. There we go. You want to make sure that you remove a unit totally from the field. Otherwise, it's still going to be doing damage to you. So you really want to focus all your efforts on one unit, kill it off, then move on to the next one. Right, so we've got our Transcendent moving into here. While I think about it, I'm going to absorb pain on my commander. And then these spacers, I'm going to probably use them as cannon fodder. So, yeah, let me move them around to the front here. Okay, so that's good. So they're all moved. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start creating a forward attack block. So I'm going to move that one into there. And then, so you can see the swarm shielded, and then I'm going to move my hero in. And there you go, I get the fury of the swarm there as well. And then move my Transcendent back one. And we're going to absorb pain. Okay, I have another Transcendent over here, which I may need because I don't think I've got one in this army. No. Okay, so I'm going to have to make sure that I cover my army commander. So let's move these units forwards, or sideways to be exact. Okay, as everything in Planetfall, it's all about the preparation. So it's going to take us a little while just to get everything set up before we get into the battle proper. But it is worth it. Yeah, let's move these guys all the way forwards here. That's fine, they're under cover for the time being. And how far can I get my hero? Okay, get my hero as far as there. Then I want my hidden. These guys are going to pretty much be staying at the back all the time, so we can move them all the way forwards to there. We don't have to worry about Overwatch for now. And let's get those unleashed on there. I remembered their name for a change, and we're going to move those unleashed on top of them, so they've got the swarm shield. And same with these ones, we'll move them on top there. Okay, and then we'll just put defensive mode on everything. Everything's in the right place. There we go, just tick all the ticks. And I think we're almost there. No, one more. That's it. Okay, end turn. Okay, ideally I want them coming to me. I don't want to be running into the guns. And it looks like they're just going to stay into defensive mode. Okay, while we're looking at that, there we go, yeah, so they've gone into defensive mode. Okay, so I have 8 tactical points. I'm going to use an operation now. You generally use your offensive operations at the beginning of your turn, your defensives at the end. I have 8 points. I'm going to be wanting to use my Aegis subroutines, because you can see I get an extra 2 shield for 2 turns, especially when they're attacking me at range. That's going to come in really, really handy. So I'm probably going to use... the corrosive detonator is going to use 3. But they're going to lose 2 armor and take 10 damage. And I have a big group here, including my their army commander, who's got 5 armor. So, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to use up 3 of those, and that gives me 2 turns with my Aegis subroutine. So I'll do that. All right, how's he looking now? Yeah, so he's down to 3. That's much better. And we are going to move everything forwards and get everything into a nice big forward attacking unit. We're not going to go too far forwards. I'm going to try and stay out of range of their guns. Okay, the sniper's there. Right, so let's pop them into defensive mode. Move. Okay, got to make sure I select the right units here as well. Okay, we've got some frenzied over here, which we're going to bring in. Okay, and then one of these had Echo of the Hive Mind. I can't remember which. I think it's Transferring Pain, Swarm Shielded. I know one of these has got... I could have sworn I had an Echo of the Hive Mind on one of them. So, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move him forwards. Have I got the right one selected? Yeah. Okay, so he's got Fury of the Swarm, so they'll do the damage. We'll move this hero into the side here. We'll move the Transcendent to the back, so they can still be useful. Okay, we've got our space. Oh, we've got some frenzied here as well. We're just going to move the spaces forward. We're going to try and use them as cannon fodder, I think. And I have these guys over here. So I'm going to move spaces to here and pop them. And then how far can these frenzied go? Right, we can move the frenzied in to there. Then they have the option of potentially going round. Okay, my transcendent, I want to move him. I'm going to move him all the way to the back here. And then try and remember to do the absorb pain on my commander hero. Right. Okay, let's move them over to here. Move our commander in behind them. There we go. We've got a swarm shield. That's fine. That's good. And then we'll move our unleashed over the top again. Oh, I've got a flying unit up there I need to keep an eye on. Can I reach them yet? No. And then we'll put our hidden just tucked in behind. We'll put an overwatch on just as we're there. Same with our hero. And I think that's about it. So we're just going to put defensive mode on everything that needs it. Okay, we can, there we go. I think we're about there. Nope, a few more. All right, end turn. Okay, so they're just in range of the guns now, that's annoying. Okay, so the sniper didn't shoot, he just got himself into position, which is handy because I really want to turn on those subroutines and start getting those extra shields. Okay, these guys are going to cause me problems because they're behind some structures there. And then the ones with the tentacles are a pain because they can regen dead units. Okay, well, at least I'm getting them to use up their repairs, so that's good. Alright, so these guys are as good as dead. I'm not going to be able to save them. Alright, let's start on, before I forget. I know I normally say I put these on at the end, but I'm going to forget otherwise. So I'm going to do my Aegis subroutines, and what that does, it gives me 2 shields for everything that has a synthesis mod installed. And what you're going to see is because I put it on quite a lot of my units, you see I have a lot of units that are affected. So unlike a lot of the tactical operations that only affects like a 1 hex grid around it, it affects the majority of my units. So especially from the ranged attacks, that's going to come in really, really useful. So we've got that in place, and now I'm going to, I think I'm going to try and get my frenzied to use their vomit spit to take out these guys. Yeah, the only thing with that though is that they're not actually going to, it's not really, they're not going to get much, they're only going to be hitting 1 target. So I can't actually reach with those ones, so I'm going to go for that anyway. Okay, they're going to lose some armor anyway, so that means then okay, so they've now lost a lot of their armor. Can I use the spacers to come round? Yeah, I'm going to get my spacers in here as well because I want them to take most of the damage at the beginning anyway. And these guys are almost... Oh, I might as well get them to attack and just at least get them distracted for the time being. I might be able to even get a Transcendent to get a pop shot off Yeah, I'm going to move my Transcendent into here and see if I can use these guys to take off that little threat that's at the side there. That was a good critical hit. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, I don't think. I might be able to just reach him from here. Come on. Ah, you would miss. That's frustrating. Okay. Right, let's focus back on these guys then. We're going to use... I don't want to use my Unleashed because my Unleashed are going to just end up dying very easily. So let's move these guys forwards and see if I can finish them off with the spit. So move them forwards. There we go. Okay, good. So now I've got everything in quite a good position that I can still create my shields. So I'm going to move my hero forwards and focus on that sniper. And he should have good range as well. So we're going to move... Hang on, I'm going to make sure I've got the army commander selected. Yeah. And I'm going to get a couple of shots on him as well. I'm going to move the frenzied up to here and put them into that mode. Now, do I want to bring them... I could bring him forwards. I mean, hang on, I've got the wrong unit selected again. There we go. If I could bring him... I could use him to tunnel underneath and get really close, but then he's going to be a prime target for everybody. So I'm going to save that option, I think, and I'm going to move him more to the side and pop him under cover, I think, right there. There we go. And we have some more frenzied, which we can move now into this position. I'm trying to keep enough space to make sure they can all move forwards. If not, and they're all bundled together, I end up with not being able to move some of the units. I've also got these air units up here that I need to take care of. So, can I reach them with... I don't need to use my teleport. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move them forwards for now, I think, just so they're in range of more stuff later on. And can we get an Overwatch in there? Yeah. Okay, and then we have our Unleashed. And we're going to move them over the top of my hero. And then same with this unit. And move them on top of this hero. And then move them on top of that unit. And hopefully they could take care of these flying units. Can we spit from... Oh, they can get a gunk shot in. Oh, we're going to take that. Excellent, so that's a sniper gone. So that's taken out a massive problem for me. I could have probably moved them across. Can I still... Have I got enough move? Yeah, I've got enough move points to move them across and get a gunk shot on these guys. It's still not enough to take them out, unfortunately. And yeah, they're not going to have enough range. Okay, so we're going to keep that gunk shot. Right, and that's about it. So we've got our Aegis subroutines running. All the units have pretty much moved. So end our turn. See where things go from here. This is where things are going to heat up, I think. Okay, my spacers are going to die. That was to be expected. Okay, he's come forwards, the tentacle guy, which is good because I really want to take him out. I'm going to have to probably throw everything I have to take him out. Okay, the commander's staying back at the moment. Okay, we're taking some damage at the front here. Okay, he might fight from Overwatch. Okay, so I have 2 of the tentacle dudes, which I've got to keep an eye out for. Right, we're going to just use... Yeah, we're going to use the flying unit. Let's see, we can get more damage, so let's... Yeah, let me just do a side strike with this. There we go, so they're taken care of. Now, I'm going to need some units healing, so we're going to bring the Transcendent back. And we're going to heal that unit there. And let's grab this Transcendent. Although he can get a good shot, I think. He can get a good shot over here. Yeah, we're going to take that shot because then I can then come in with my Unleashed and do a Ravage. There we go. Okay, unfortunately it wasn't quite enough to take him out. And as you know, we want to always take out a unit. Now my snipers, we can reach 53% chance, let's see. There we go. Good. So that was a good use of my snipers at the back there. Now we need to focus on him. So we've got rending claws and we can flank, so we're going to do that straight away. Okay, that was quite a lot of damage from there. So can we now... Not quite enough. I want to really get a flanking shot in if I can. So can I get a... Okay, let's get my heroes to do the work here. There we go. And I'm going to keep my flying units. You know what? Let's put in the... Let's send in a frenzied.
Enemy annihilated.
Right, good. Okay. That leaves now him free to deal with that one. So can this unit... Right, so that unit could do a Ravage. So I'm thinking as I'm going along here, so... And then we can finish him off with the Thrax, yeah. Okay, good. Now let's look. We've got a unit here that looks like it's about to die, so we want to deal with that. And I want to... There we go, I'm going to come in and flank. And what that's going to do is it's then going to open up this route for these frenzied to come and attack this chap here. And now I can move... Right, this is probably a good time for me to... looks like I got knocked and I've lost my action point. So I'm not able to use my, my digger. So we have one flying unit. Now they're not going to do much damage. And we have... Is that a frenzied unit here that I can move? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna move everything straight down the middle here because I want to try and get to that tentacle dude up there in a minute. So he can come forwards, and then I should be able to use. Okay, I could have used the corrosive bile to be honest, but there we go. Now I have this one flying unit, which I'm going to keep there for the time being, I think. Yeah, so he's going to just sit tight. Or can I do something with him? I can always use my my spit to at least start creating some damage. So I'm probably going to want to go for these guys. because they have an arc blast. So I'm going to move over here, and then they get 45, 90, and then you're going to do 5. They're flanked, and they're... You know what, I'm going to take the shot in that direction. Okay, my Aegis subroutines are still running, and that means I can probably use a maceration again, and let's focus on this group up here. How's he looking? Yeah, so he's in a fortified obstacle at the moment. All right, so we're going to end turn. All right, I'm taking a lot of damage from those guns now. And it looks like I'm going to lose quite a few units here if I'm not careful.
Down. Down. Down.
All right. Yeah, I think I lost about 3 units there. That wasn't good. So let's see what we've got. So we've got our Transcendents sitting down the back here. So let's move them forwards and get a healing on those guys. Then they can come forwards. And we've got an Absorb Pain. Do I want to use it? Yeah, I want to use it. I'm going to use that on my commander just to be absolutely certain. All right. Okay, then this last one. Can I move him far enough forwards? No, I can use him to actually just take a shot at these guys here. There we go. Now, I'm going to be in the blue zone anyway. They haven't gotten it, so I'm going to try and see if I can get a flank on that. There we go. So I've got a flank on there. And then we can now use these guys to take them out.
Enemy down.
Okay, so I'm going to take a shot here and do something a little bit crazy, I think. Can I actually reach? I actually want to start attacking that guy at the back. But no, because I haven't got enough backup at this stage. So I'm better off focusing on the things I can kill. Do I want to go? Yeah, I'm going to go for this unit here. And then my hero can come forwards. Okay, if he goes 1, it looks like it's not enough to finish him off. Yeah, okay, it's time for my little birdie things, fly things to come to the rescue again. I can get Rending Claws on there, so that's going to finish them off.
Enemy destroyed.
Okay, now we have, they're too far away. Yeah, we're going to focus on these guys. And I'm going to move. Oh, he can take a shot. Oh, there we go. He can just take him out straight away with the rifle.
Enemy destroyed.
And we just have our snipers left. So if I move my snipers, see at the moment I haven't got enough range. I can just do a teleport. And I could teleport to here. Just zoom forwards a little bit. Yeah, I can get a shot in there. And they missed. Okay, so I'm going to use up my last of my Aegis subroutines. And then I'm going to end my turn. So it looks like it's going to be fairly close. Although I've still got a few units alive at the moment, which is good. It's, my problem is these two up here. It's going to be the tentacle guy reanimating
Unit is
units.
fallen.
So I need to throw everything I have now onto tentacle guy if I can help it. Oh, he's come to me, so that's going to help. Okay, alright, so it's time for an all-out attack on this dude. So luckily I got a flank here by the looks of it. So do I get an overwatch? Okay, I'm gonna take the overwatch. I really want him off the grid. Oh, I got a critical hit as well. Okay, good. So you go forwards, that's it. Hero move, all on your own.
Enemy down.
Good, excellent. Let's move forwards with you. Right, so you are going to ravage this unit down here, and another critical hit.
Enemy annihilated.
Oh, excellent, so he's now down. Okay, he's covered by an obstacle, I believe. Right, let's see what kind of, 30%. Okay, well, yeah, we're going to move all our transcendents forward, and we're going to start trying to take some shots at him with all the transcendent, and try and wear him down a little bit. Okay, we're getting a few shots in. Let's get our snipers to take a shot. That wasn't bad. And let's move him as far forward as we can. In fact, let's grab, now's the time to dig a hole. There we go, puts him right behind him. So we get a flank, and then my other hero will then get a flank as well. Boom. Alright, I think we're there.
The enemies of the hive.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. So, kept all my heroes. Lost a fair few units. Although I kept all my transcendents. As you can see, I mostly just basically lost tier 1. So it was frenzied, and unleashed. And that is all I lost. Otherwise, I kept all my heroes, kept my transcendents. So that was all with tier 1s. So that was pretty good. So what I'm going to do at this stage is I think I'm going to wrap it up for this episode. I think we've covered a lot of stuff, like how to start with the Kir'Ko on the strategic level, how to start building your colonies and the kind of moves you're going to make. You've seen how I use the Kir'Ko in combat. So that kind of covers what the Kir'Ko are about. And then what I think I'll do is I'll do another episode if you want to see where I go from here. So I'm going to continue on with this game. I am probably going to be heading over to this capital and trying to take over everything that belongs to T1 while I've got the opportunity. You know, bring in some reinforcements, maybe wait 2 or 3 turns, try and get some extra troops in. I'm going to have to put a monitor down there and down in Frixion, take a look, see what we've got, see what I'm dealing with, and make a decision from there. So I hope you found that useful and found it entertaining. And if you liked, please like. If you didn't like, dislike. And as always, give me some comments. Let me know your thoughts. Would you have done things differently? How would you have done them? If you like what I do, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon for some notifications. And that's it for this episode. All right, take care. Bye.